I've been too busy testing and debugging this week to make any interesting progress on cargo defense, so I want to talk about something different, specifically how I got here, how I'm able to work on this game full-time with basically no income. And some of it has been luck, but there's also been a lot of hard work along the way, and I might have a few tips that might help some of you. So, to start, I started making games when I was a kid. I taught myself Quick Basic, later Visual Basic, and I even made a couple of games for the TI graphing calculators. None of them were any good, but the point is that any practice you can do in your free time will help you get better at making games. Don't start with your grandest ambitions. Keep it simple and just make something and finish it so that you get a feel for what it takes to put together a game. I continued making games as a hobby in college, mostly in Java, until I got a couple of part-time jobs doing web development. One of those turned into a full-time job offer when I graduated, and it wasn't what I really wanted to do, but the pay was too good to turn down. I guess that's my second point. Sometimes it's worth taking a job that isn't what you really want long term if it pays well enough that you can save up to pursue your own projects later on. After about a year and a half, I quit and I started Clockquake Studios. I teamed up with an artist friend and moved to Massachusetts, where at first we worked on an ambitious space game called Galaxy Unknown, but after a while we decided to scale back and do something simpler for our first game. That's when the idea came up for Tesla the Weatherman. Originally, this was just going to be a 1-month practice project to get a feel for what it takes to ship a game, but the more we worked on it, the more we wanted to make it better. We kept coming up with more ideas and raising our standards for the quality of the game. So in the end, it took about a year before we finished it, but it was a complete financial failure. The first year of sales didn't even cover 1 month's rent in the apartment we shared while we made it. We got a few good reviews, but the indie market had kind of moved on beyond silly platformers, and it was clear this just wasn't going anywhere.
My first impressions are particularly positive. I think this is a sufficiently innovative game. The humor is hit and miss. Some people will like the goofiness. I like some of the alternate history nonsense. That's kind of funny, although some of it is a tad cringeworthy.
After a couple of months, I went broke and I had to move back in with my dad just to survive while I hunted for my next job. But that's where the game finally started to pay off for me. Having that on my resume as a completed, self-directed project showed employers that I not only had initiative and passion, but follow-through, and I know that that helped me get interviews at a couple of big tech companies. In fact, in my final interview at Microsoft, the person who had become my skip-level manager spent most of the time just talking about how much he liked my game. So my third point is, if you can put substantial personal projects on your resume, it can really help you get a job. And I guess my final piece of advice is if you can get a job at a big tech company, I highly recommend it. Not just for the pay, but for the experience. I learned so much from my coworkers at Microsoft, from better coding practices to better debugging techniques to how to test software, even some project management stuff, though that's still one of my weak points. I worked there for about 7 years before quitting to pursue indie games again, and that brings me to the start of my current project. I learned a lot from my last game and saved up more money this time, but the biggest thing that gives me hope for this one is I've actually got an audience now. I don't know why, but my first video about why I chose Godot really took off, with hundreds of thousands of views, and that's led to about 11,000 subscribers at the time of this video. I wasn't planning on this, and I didn't expect to get so much attention on YouTube, but I know that marketing is crucial to success, so I'm trying to keep it going as best I can. It's also been great to hear from other indie developers that my videos have helped motivate them to start their own projects, and I hope this video will help too. So if you'd like to see how this story ends and what else I learn along the way, please consider subscribing. It also really helps me out if you hit the like button or tell other people about this channel. And of course, thanks for watching.